We're going to do a workshop today really in relation to this conference, but we do this here at Iowa State a lot. So a lot of what I will take you through is stuff we do with students here all the time, and grown-up entrepreneurs as well. But related to this conference, we had decided when we did this conference the first time to do a pitch workshop. And the reason you're going to meet Ryan, and he's offline right at the moment, is we've kind of done a double pitch competition. So as just a part of this event, we offer a pitch competition for people who either have a business idea or somebody working on an actual business. It's a great way to learn how to communicate your business idea, but also perhaps win some money. Ryan and his team are partners in this event, and they came up with this great idea last year to sort of do a dual pitch competition. And so I'm hoping Ryan will get back on, be able to introduce himself and his son, Colin, who drives a NASCAR. And they did a little competition last year to the winner, instead of cash, got to have their business logo on Colin Garrett's race car, which was a pretty cool and unique experience. So we're going to kind of do the same thing. We'll do a pitch competition, and you could actually be in the winning for both cash and the Veteran 1111 project pitch competition. So I kind of gave a background, Ryan. It looks like I saw you unmute. Are you
I'm
there?
back. Yep, I'm
Well, I
back.
was, I don't know if you were hearing all that. I was describing the
I did.
kind
Yep,
of have a
I
dual
appreciate
competition. So
that.
love to have a quick intro about you and your reasons for being a part of this.
Is my video back?
Yep, video's back and
Okay,
your voice is
cool.
clear.
Okay, sorry about that. The challenge of doing this from the house. So, well, thank you for giving me a chance just to go over a little bit of what the fun we had last year. Honestly, it really was a ball being a part of this. When you all invited Colin, actually, the race car driver, to come speak. He wasn't able to. And as you may remember, that's when Lisa Kipps Brown and I um, asked if we could come and be a part of your conference. It really, it was run so well. We enjoyed it and immensely, and knew we wanted to be a part of it again, no matter what happened. So we already knew we were going to come back just because we thought you ran such a great event. What's even better, of course, is that our idea of the pitch contest to be on Colin's car um, honestly could not have gone better, and and is continuing. So the folks that won last year, we're continuing our endeavors together, and we can talk a little bit more about that. But anyway, just the our point is, um, you all ran such a great conference that we appreciate being able to be a part of it again. And so anyway, I'll leave it at that for a moment. I guess I'll let you tell me how deeply you want me to go with our pitch contest.
Well, and my pitch is, this is sort of just a general pitching workshop, and you're pitching for money, but
Yep.
the winner, if you win the other half of this, the Veteran 11 side of this, is about having your logo and being affiliated with Veteran 1111 project and the car. The really primary question, Ryan, to ask as a part of this pitch is, what was the question we asked them? Like, what do they have to respond to in addition to talking about their
Sorry.
business in order to win that part?
Sorry, I'll pull that up real quick.
Oh, sorry, Jean. She's gonna pull that up.
Yep, that's okay.
I didn't have it in front of me. I was hoping you could say, and
Yeah, no
here's the
problem.
extra
Yep.
thing you have to answer.
Here we go. It is, how would having the opportunity to have your business logo on Colin Garrett's race car benefit your business? There's 4 points. That's number one. Number two, how could you leverage this opportunity to connect more people to the 1111 Veteran Project? Number three, how would you leverage this opportunity to support the 1111 Veteran Project? And four, why should the judges pick you for this prize category? So that's in addition to the basic points that you need to address for the conference pitch. And then if you wanted to be considered for the 1111 pitch prize, you need to include those 4 points. And that was all identified on the email that I sent, the calendar invite email that I sent.
So let me let me just quickly address what that really says. I mean, obviously, you want to address those 4 points, but what we're really looking for is how can you be a strategic partner? If you are essentially given, you win, right? But you're given an opportunity to, be on the car. Maybe just having your logo on there is good with you, and that's certainly okay. But probably there is something else that you're bringing to the relationship that may not be, inherent in your elevator pitch, right? Or in your pitch contest pitch. Um, there's probably something else, something that you can bring to the relationship that you might be able to describe a little bit more. I know a pitch is quick, right? So you don't have a whole lot of time to do it. But if you think about how could I be a partner with the 1111 Veteran Project? How could it be a partner with Colin? Um, this isn't just to win a spot on the car. It's also what else could we do together? How else could we partner? This could just be the beginning of a relationship. Um, so one of the folks that won last year, and I know you all will hear from Bazi as well, but when we first started talking to Bazi, ideas started coming out of all of us very quickly, and he got to come to the race in Indianapolis. Colin won the national championship, so on and so forth. All kinds of cool stuff that went with that. And yes, we put the logo on the car. But here we are, almost a year later, or I don't know, 10, 11 months from that conference, and that relationship is still building. Again, not to belabor his particular business, but suddenly we have Colin as a character in one of his graphic novels. We're talking about a movie now with a studio. I mean, this relationship just continued to build by us really just looking at each other and saying, well, what else is there? What else could we do? What other things would be valuable to you and to us? So it really is an opportunity to become a partner and learn how to work with us. Obviously, the emphasis is going to be on military families, first responder families, but also race cars, right? So it'll be fun. It'll be interesting to see how everyone at the pitch contest is able to discuss how they might become more of a partner rather than just a recipient of an award. I hope that wasn't too much.
No, it's good. It gives us some good background. So great. Well, awesome. Well, let's dive in. So opportunities to win. It's not always cash. It can be cash and celebrity, I guess we'll say as your win, which is kind of fun. So what I'm hoping to do today is sort of take you through the pitch opportunity is an option for the conference. So Joy, I know we just told you about this yesterday. There is an all-day conference where you can learn all the business aspects of your idea. But if you want to do the pitch competition, I'm hoping today to give you some outline and tips. And just so you know, we'll share these slides with you. So once we get through the thing, we will put this in a PDF and send it out to you.
That sounds great. Thank you so much.
Yep, you're welcome. So let's see if I can get my slide to advance here. Doesn't want to go. Oh, this is great. There we go. All right, so I'm going to kind of start, since there's just two of you, Teddy and Joy. Joy, I know you have a business idea you're working on. Teddy, where are you? Are you have an idea, or do you have an existing business? Where are you in this process? Teddy took a coffee break, maybe. Well,
no, I'm sorry.
No, good.
I'm going to get this. I'm just a little bit new to Zoom. I'm a disabled veteran. and I am mostly housebound, although it's more mental health reasons. And my idea is to possibly bring a healing well, from quite possibly my property in the backyard where I am on a water supply and I'm very near a river. So that's really popular from where I'm at in Colorado. And the Southwest has a lot of healing properties to them, a lot of holistic. That's not really found here in Iowa. So not only am I bringing something new to this area in hopes that it could really expand, but I am also a disabled vet. So I am so excited about this dual competition.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. It just helps me kind of guide how to help you prepare for this. Joy, and I know what you're doing. Can you give just a 30 seconds on what you're doing? Because I think since Teddy shared it, it may be nice for Ryan and the rest to hear what cool stuff you're up to.
Yeah, no problem. I'm an occupational therapy student. I've been an occupational therapy assistant for 20 years, and I build low cost, globally distributable prosthetic for above elbow amputees in order to address immediate functional loss while either waiting for a definitive socket style prosthesis or to address the approximately 4.3 million above elbow amputees worldwide that have no access to prosthetics.
Perfect. And
Wow.
I'm going to brag a little bit about you. So usually you do a pitch competition, then a full business presentation competition. She's done it in reverse. So she entered a competition on Monday, which was a statewide student competition, and actually won $5,000 for her idea. So now
Very
you have the
cool.
harder part. You have to go from a 5-minute presentation to a 2-minute presentation. That's actually very challenging to do. So thank you, Teddy and Joy, for sharing that. So we
Thank
talked
you. Thank you
about
for the opportunity.
yeah, we talk about pitching, and people come up with ideas that are everything from massive world population issues to really everyday problems. And, where do ideas come from? You meet people that are working on something and see an opportunity. There are those people that say, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I don't have an idea. Well, all you really have to do is look around your life and look around, and you'll start to identify, if you think entrepreneurial, you'll start to identify where those problems are and where those ideas come from. It's typically because you're related to it's something that you do or you're doing or care about. We see really giant problems. We see problems with war, with hunger, with polar bears losing their habitat, to tiny little problems. And if you can tell what that picture is, it's in a bathroom, and I guarantee you, 9 out of 10 people have experienced a bathroom door that does not close properly, in particular in women's restrooms. And we met a lady who had a very simple solution to that, and a 3D printed device that looked kind of shaped like this, that went over the top of the door and slid over and kept that door from shutting. And then she talked to people, what do you think of this idea? And they said, this is really cool, but we also run out of toilet paper in bathrooms. And so she created it in a size and with a clamp so it would hold a little mini set of tissues. So very simple little solution to just an everyday problem. And it's everything in between. And so what does that look like? How do you figure out what that problem is you're working on? And entrepreneurship and pitching an idea is less about what you've created, but more about solving a problem or identifying something where there's an opportunity that you can influence. So in terms of large and small, forest fires, it's a huge issue. We have a lot of firefighter injuries from forest fires. So somebody with a lot of money obviously created firefighting robots that go head on into the fires and can spray water and save lives. So there was a really nice solution to a really big problem. And again, back to the tiny problems. My pop can's too cold, so I 3D printed little handles that go right on the edge of my pop can, something very, very simple. So anything goes, and it's really about building your idea and showing others that this is something they're going to want or need, and you find that other people will join into your idea. So where do new ideas come from? Lots of trends. So if you think about trends in the marketplace, fashion trends, social media trends, farm to table movements, shop local, those are all trends, and those create business opportunities. People jump on the bandwagon in in fashion or whatever, and may or may not last forever, but there are things that happen in our world that create opportunities for new business ideas. We also have gaps and needs in our marketplace. So 20 years ago, you would go into any restaurant, you rarely saw gluten-free options or vegan options or things like that, but there are enough people that have those kinds of food allergies or needs. And now you can find that stuff everywhere. So somebody figured out that, hey, there are a lot of people that also have this situation. And so then they create things to fit that. So there's always a gap in the marketplace. Think about technology, think about what we do now with our phones. You can, book your airplane stuff on a phone. You can pay for food on a phone. And so technology has created all kinds of places where there were gaps in the marketplace, self-booking travel, all those kinds of things were created because somebody saw that, hey, there's a better way to do this. And then really where I see most entrepreneurship, it comes from problem solving. There's something to be solved, traffic, health, day-to-day living, bathroom doors, whatever it is, there's a problem. And so your goal is to create something that will solve that problem. Joy in particular, Teddy sees an opportunity. And so if you think like an entrepreneur and pay attention to those things, we challenge our students here at the university. We have a cross-campus entrepreneurship program. We tell them every day, go through life looking for things that bother you and things that you can make a difference in doing. And if you go through life always looking for those, being observant of those problems and issues, you turn those complaints and those challenges into opportunities. And so be entrepreneurial and look at things that others don't see. And if you have ever met a serial entrepreneur, that's what they do all day long. All they do is see ways to create new and better things. And then they do it once and it's successful. They go to another one. It's a failure. They go to the next one. And that's the entrepreneurial mindset. And my goal is to help you be like that. So open up your eyes, look around and see what the opportunity is. The other thing, we will find that people don't want to share their ideas because they're afraid somebody's going to steal them. There's no learning in that process. So if you tell others about your idea, I guarantee you they're going to tell you what they think, either in a positive or negative way. But that is valuable knowledge on what you're developing. So we have scientists here at the university. They'll create something. I've created this device that does rapid bacterial detection, whatever it is. And then they build it and create it like an engineer does. But then they go try to sell it in the marketplace and find out, well, this is great, but if you developed it half the size, I could buy twice as many, or, this is a challenge. So you really need to share your idea with others and then listen to what they tell you about the opportunity, because that will help shape your business into another opportunity. And I think, Joy, you heard a little bit of about that on Monday, that people, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Listen to those people because they're your potential customers, can tell you. The other thing to sort of think about is, is this a problem other people share? If I happen to be really good at knitting and have developed a pattern for knitting Siamese twin sweaters, that's really awesome. How many other people need a product like that, right? So, but if you've got something, what did you say, Joy? 4.3 million people?
Yes, that's 2022 numbers though.
Yeah. A lot of people have this challenge. So that is a really cool thing when you're developing a solution to something that other people share. How big is that problem? We've just defined that in this case. And so we call it customer discovery. So go ask people, and it's either going to validate or invalidate what problem you're solving, and then go out and Google. And you may find something that's similar to what you've done. That doesn't mean you have to give up. That means you figure out how to compete or complement whatever else existing. To me, that's a good thing. If you find something like what you've created out there, that says somebody else saw that same problem and is working on that as well. And sometimes you have to change direction based on what you find. We call that pivoting. That's an A-OK thing because all that's going to do is lead to a better business or a better product. So, we talk about where do people get inspired for their new business ideas. You could just have a burning passion for what you do. Maybe you're really into pets or animal welfare or fitness or kids with special needs. What is that burning passion you have? That's a great basis. Joy experienced that. She really, really wanted to help people that were suffering from limb amputations. That is a great way to drive a business idea because you're going to be really excited about it and really, really want to do something different with it. Maybe you have a personal connection. So maybe you've got a family that's experienced something, a disability, an illness, something that happened in your community. There are all kinds of ways you're personally connected. Another great driving factor for pursuing your business idea. Sometimes you're trained to do something. You're going to be a dentist or an attorney or an occupational therapist. And those are also really good basis for pitching your idea. Because you truly understand and relate and you can actually work around those problems. Kind of like the same, you're trained to do something and that's how you pursue your ideas. And sometimes things just happen. And we all think back on COVID and think of all the business ideas that happened when COVID hit. We had to create personal protective equipment for people that didn't normally have that. People sewed masks. We had to figure out how to solve our supply chain issues. So all those kinds of things, pharmaceuticals, all that stuff happens. And sometimes a crisis can actually result in new ideas and new innovations. And that you look over history and that has happened frequently. And sometimes things just happen, right? So if you look at the Tootsie Pop, it was a Tootsie Roll and a sucker becomes some dad who had a Tootsie Roll in his mouth, grabbed his daughter's sucker, needed to tie her shoes, put the sucker in his mouth, ended up, hey, that kind of tastes good together. And here came the Tootsie Pop. Penicillin, Post-it notes. Sometimes just these varying different things come together and create a new opportunity. Okay, so you with me? Everybody good? So you too, at least on this call and anybody else who might be listening, you may or may not have your idea figured out, but keep thinking on it and you'll get there. So what we really want to talk about today is how to pitch your idea so that you can win a spot on the race car or you can win some of the cash prizes. So why do we do this? Why do we spend so much time teaching people how to pitch? One, it's a great way to convey what you're doing to others. So if you have something very scientific, and Joy, I hate to keep picking on you, but she came out and demonstrated her product, which her prototype, which was really, really helpful because it helps people understand what you're doing. Again, I go back here, I'm here at a university. Scientists love to talk in scientific jargon about what they've created. Doesn't mean anything to me. You have to boil it down to a communication that other people can understand. You don't have to give all the details. You really want to state what that problem is and then tell people about it and then listen to what they tell you, like we said. Maybe you're trying to get that feedback. Maybe you're trying to find a business partner. Maybe you're trying to sell your product. Or maybe you're just trying to connect with other people who can help. So pitch competitions are a great way to do that. We do this every Wednesday in Ames, and people come out and share their business idea, not to win money or anything else, but to hear what others think and find referrals and look at potential customers and figure out what people's needs are. So that whole idea of learning how to pitch your business in 2 minutes or less is challenging. But if you really think about succinctly conveying what you're doing to the right audience, maybe you can win a competition and win some money. That's our goal today. So what should go in your pitch? We have business pitch decks, which we do enjoy. That's what you did. Pitching is a little bit different because it's just more succinct. So like we've said, what is the problem you're addressing or what is the opportunity, right? Maybe you've created something as an opportunity for people. So problem/opportunity, and how are you solving that? How are you delivering an answer to that problem or opportunity? You might want to put in there who your potential customers are. So if you're developing a product for a school system, is your customer the students or is your customer the school system, right? Who's going to actually buy your product? Who are they? Where are they? How do you find them and how do you market to them? Do you have competitors? And a lot of people will say, I don't have any competitors. Guaranteed, everybody has a competitor. You're either competing with the exact same thing or business, or you're competing in a segment where you have competitors. So you all have competitors. Who are they? And how do you compare and how do you differentiate what you're doing with your competitors? If you're a chiropractor and you're going to be the 10th chiropractor in your community, How do you differentiate? How do you steal other patients or get new patients from people that already have 9 chiropractors to go to? Well, maybe you add physical therapy services, or maybe you have popcorn in your lobby. Whatever it is, or you're trained in a special way, you have to develop a way to compete in that marketplace against your competitors. We have students all the time that are proposing a software development. Well, if they're not a software developer, how are they going to do that? They've got to have a team. So they're like, I have the expertise in this, but I have a friend who does this, or I have a family member who does my accounting. What does your team look like? Do you have the passion, the skill set, and all those things you need to actually make that business viable? And if not, how are you going to find the rest of the people to do that? Whether that's contracting with people. My first hire will be a salesperson because that's what I need, to do that. So what does that team look like? Why you? And what gaps do you have that you can fill out to actually make a viable business? Traction is a big thing. We love to hear what you've accomplished so far. So who have you talked to? Have you surveyed people? Have you created a prototype? Have you made some sales? Have you built a website? Those are all things that show that you are actually working on this idea. And so we love to hear about that as your judges will, as, what have you accomplished so far? What have you done that's helped you want to keep moving forward with your business idea? And that's the goal, is it doesn't all happen overnight. And how do you keep working on that idea so that people want to pay attention and either become your customers or invest in you to help you make that idea happen? So very simply, who are you? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Who are you doing this for? How do your customers benefit? What will this solve for them? And so the real question is, this is my idea, but who cares? You want us to figure out what you're doing and be very excited about what you're doing. So how do you pitch? So you got 2 minutes. And if you break that down, if you've ever just started talking about your business idea, so Ryan, I think of just you, like, can you just give us a quick introduction? It's really hard if I said you only have 2 minutes, Ryan, to tell us about Veteran 11 Project, that would be really hard for you to do, right? Oh, except you're muted if you want to comment.
I'll say it again. Absolutely. and not only that, but our pitch is even different, right, than the money pitch. So I'm going to talk about that in a few minutes here about how I would approach that, and it's going to be again even different from what you're about to tell them too.
Yep. And so think about that. You've got to figure out who your audience is. And we know students that do different competitions or our faculty members. And kind of like writing a resume, right? Who are you submitting it to? You should tailor that to your audience. And so again, yes, Ryan's is a little bit different, but when you're really excited about what you're doing, it's really hard to do that in 2 minutes. And there's an art to learning how to pitch like this. So I love a really strong introduction. How do you get us excited with your introduction? Maybe you're sharing compelling data. So Joy shared compelling data. 4.3 million people in 2022 had this problem. We know it's growing. 7 out of 10 kids don't know how to read. 9 out of 10 people bit by rattlesnakes will die if they don't have the venom reversal solution. What is that compelling data point that makes you go, oh my gosh, wow, this is a really big problem, right? It perks my ears up and go, oh gosh, tell me more. Maybe you have that emotional connection. Polar bears are dying. We go back to our polar bears. Oh, I'm an animal lover, and oh gosh, I hate to hear that. And what are you going to tell me? Are you going to solve this problem? Maybe it's an exciting solution. What if I told you could go with my device, you could go 3 days without ever having to charge your iPhone? That would be something that a lot of people would pay attention to. Go, yeah, how do you do that? That's really, really cool. And or a funny story. So, have any of you ever gotten up in the morning in the dark, got dressed, went to work, and found out you had 2 different color shoes? I actually did that, and I had to give a presentation that day, and I had a black shoe and a blue shoe. So maybe, hey, has this happened to you? Maybe I've created a closet light or a shoe sensing match device or something like that, right? So you can kind of make it funny. Have any of you experienced this? So what do you do at the beginning to capture your listeners' attention and make them want to hear more? When you're pitching, It's so easy to go 5 minutes and share a whole lot of detail. You really want to keep it simple, introduce your problem and solution, and 3 to 5 main points. So we love it when you can pitch without note cards. If you need them, totally understand that. It's hard for some people. But if you have in your mind your 3 to 5 point outline of what you need to present, if you stumble because you rehearsed your pitch, but it kind of came out different, just think in your head, what are the 3 main points I need to tell my audience about what I'm doing? Because you'll have a Q&A session, and a lot of the extra stuff can get answered in your Q&A. So get in your head, this is what I'm doing. Here are the 3 things you need to know as a potential customer. And then just really convince us that this is a really great idea. And then close with confidence. So what we see often, because you're looking at the timer and you're almost done, and you go, yeah, that's my idea, right? That's kind of a weak ending. So think about ending with how you started, right? Hi, I'm Joy, and I'm solving the problem that many amputees deal with, right? So you get to the end and you've kind of described it. Oh gosh, you're out of time. So remember me, regain orthotics, where I am making people's lives better, right? So do something to just bring it back together and end with confidence. And it's hard to do, actually. It's really, really hard to do. It's really easy to just kind of keep going and going and going. But you got to stop, and you got to stop strong. Just kind of another way to look at pitching, what idea does your problem solve, or what problem does your idea solve? How big is it? What's relevant about it? And then why you? Why would we want the confidence to invest in you because of what you've created? I'm hoping this will work. I don't know with my audio like this. I wanted to show you a sample pitch of just some students we have at Iowa State. They created in a business class a barbecue sauce. And if you think about going to your local grocery store, how many barbecue sauces would you see on the grocery shelf? 50, 60, something like that. And this was the problem that they were given is, really how are you going to compete? There's so many barbecue sauces. And they did, and they found a unique way to do it. And I don't know if this audio is going to work, but we'll try. See if this will go. Are you still seeing my screen? Okay,
Yes.
so let me let this ad go. And we're going to try to do volume. Let's see. You can see the slides. You can't, if I do this, can you see it? No. Okay, hold on. I got to change let me get out of my slides. Okay, hold on here. Let me go back and share this one. All right, do you see it?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, hold on. Now let's see if we can make this play. No promises, but oh, I got nothing here. Hold on. Let's see. We may not be able to do this. I may have to send you this link. There's no sound, right?
No sound.
No,
And
there's no sound, and it's delayed movement.
All right. So when I send you the slides, there should be a live link. I encourage you to go look at this. Let me go back to our other screen.
the link was included in the email that I previously sent.
Perfect.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so let me go back to our presentation here. Get caught up. We won't do the video. Okay, are we back to the screen?
Yes. Did I barbecue sauce?
Perfect. All right, so there's a YouTube link there. But the interesting thing about these boys is they had to compete with a barbecue sauce. They called it Deadeye barbecue sauce. So interestingly enough, the young man on the left is Michael. The guy on the right is Tyler. And Michael's the one who actually pitched this at our local competition and won. And they advanced to a global pitch competition. And so then they came out to practice their pitch. And Michael said, yeah, we want Tyler to pitch. And Tyler was really terrible at pitching. And I said, why do you want Tyler to pitch? He said, look at him. He looks like a barbecue sauce guy, right? So they went for the look and feel of he's more of a barbecue sauce kind of guy. But they had to differentiate themselves. And the way they did that, one, they gave samples to the judges. So they said, if you don't believe this, taste it. And they put little cocktail frankfurters with their barbecue sauce on it in front of all the judges. They described it as an Iowa style, a unique Iowa style barbecue sauce. There isn't such a thing. There's Kansas City style barbecue sauce, not Iowa style, but they made it up. That was part of their story. They mentioned it was gluten-free. And again, Tyler looked like a barbecue sauce guy. He ended up working on his pitch. They started it there with a really great intro. And they said, and they're from Iowa, when you live in a state where there are more pigs than people, condiments are an important part of your life, right? So they really made everybody laugh, put everybody at ease, and they ended up winning the global pitch competition, which was really cool. So the audio is hard to hear when you see that because it's an old tape, but it's worth watching. Another one, and if you get these slides, the link is actually under this gym bag, but these were two young men at Iowa State who sat in the recs. So they're students, they have a backpack, they have their cell phone, and they have a gym bag. And trying to navigate all that on campus was a challenge. And so they sat at the gym and watched people walk in and out and talked to all these gym goers and, found out what was annoying to them. Well, they didn't like putting their dirty gym clothes in their book bag where their lunch and their books were. They didn't like having their hands not free. They didn't like carrying two bags and stuff like that. So they created the Vamos gym bag. And if you can see, I don't know if you can see my cursor here, but the white backpack actually fits over any other backpack. And it actually turns on its side and you can carry it separately. It has in there a little separate case for phones because each potential customer they talked to told them about a feature. They didn't like the color. They didn't like the name. I need a place separately for my shoes that's waterproof, all these things. And they're industrial design students. So they designed a gym bag called the Vamos gym bag. And this video is their Kickstarter video. What it does a really good job of is it lays out the problem. It's not really a 2-minute pitch, but it's a great little video that shows how they figured out how to deliver a product that almost every student who watched this wanted solved. And then they sold that. They created and sold that product. So it's pretty cool, worth going and checking out. So what is unique about what you do? You want to keep it exciting. You want to keep it simple. You might have a very serious pitch. You might have a very funny pitch. It doesn't matter. There's no rules. Figure out what you're going to do. Keep it simple because you only have 2 minutes. Write down your pitch. So a lot of people will script out their pitch, practice it some more. If it's too long and you're trying to rush, cut some out of it. You're going to get to probably some of those questions in their Q&A. What you want to move to is if you script it, you want to move from reading it to knowing it. And even if you have to switch things up, you should be able to say what you do, who you do it for, how you do it, why it matters, and why people should be excited about it. That's really the bottom line of what you're trying to get to. So it takes a little practice to do. And then the other thing I always encourage people to do is pitch your idea to somebody who's never heard you, and then listen to what questions they ask you. So if they start to say, well, okay, so wait, is it something so does it do this? Or I don't get it, does this? Well, that's telling you that you haven't done a good enough job explaining it. So listen to what other people ask and think about redoing your pitch so that the next person you give it to is, oh, that's brilliant. This is great. This is really cool, right? You want to get to that. So deliver it to a stranger. I want to do you have 2 minutes? I'd love to tell you about my business idea and give me some feedback. It's a great strategy. It might seem really odd. You don't have to go total strangers, but people that haven't heard you pitch it. It's a good strategy. So little tips and tricks, back up your problem statement with the data like we talked about. How big is the market? How many people are affected by this thing? I surveyed 50 people in my community and 82% of them said they would buy this product if it was available. If it's a really complex problem, think of analogies. If I'm creating a way to match dog owners' litters to other dog owners' litters, right, siblings or whatever, maybe it's like a Facebook page for dog breed owners, right? And I can immediately go, oh, I know what Facebook is. That makes sense. So use analogies to make something that's complex more simple, that somebody who's listening can relate to. Use things like, imagine if there was a world that did this. What if I could tell you this? Have you ever experienced this? Did you know? And use all your facts and data to share your stuff. So do something that captures your attention of the people that you're pitching to. This is just rough, but Don't spend more than 20 seconds in your introduction. And don't spend more than 20 seconds ending, and everything else in between are those 3 to 5 main points. So keep it short and simple, give the data, and then do a really nice succinct ending. Some questions that come up at pitch events: can you share slides, handouts, and samples? We don't do slides in 2 minutes. There's no time for slides. Joy had the benefit of slides on Monday. You don't have that benefit. You actually have to just tell us about what you're doing. But we'll put a table or an easel there. If you've got a poster, if you've got a prototype, if you've got a product sample, you can bring that, a picture, whatever, a flyer. There will be 3 and no more than 4 judges at this event. And so you can hand them a business card, a flyer. If you've got something you want to describe on paper, that's great. Just no slides. There's just no time to set up slides. And you don't need them to do a 2-minute pitch anyway. So you can share whatever you want. Think about Q&A. And that, that can stump a lot of people. But what are kinds of questions a judge might ask? These are some things that we see a lot. What's your business model? How are you going to make money? A lot of people have great ideas that they're passionate about, but how do you monetize that? And judges like to have that answer. A really common question is, if you're creating something and it's a product, how much does it cost you to produce, and how much are you going to sell it for? So what are your margins? How much money are you going to make? We love to do things because we're passionate about it, but if you can't have a sustainable business with that, you need to think about it. So there's a cost to producing something, or to acquiring a customer, or whatever is your business. And then you should have a price on that is both covering your cost, but also a price that customers are willing to pay. How do you market your idea, right? So everybody's like, who wants this? Everybody wants my product. Well, how are you going to reach everybody? So what is your market strategy? How do you reach your customers? Maybe it's a quilting business. Well, then there are quilting groups. So I'm going to start by reaching the quilting groups, and then I'll go to my Main Street business association or whatever it is. So where do you start? You can't reach all your customers right off the bat. So what are logical ways that you're going to bring new customers into your business? And then really, how do you grow? So some of you have maybe an existing business. We're working with a lot of students who are just really working on ideas. But other questions, if you have an existing business, again, who are your customers? How do you reach them? How do you retain them? How many of your customers come back for more? Those are really good markers for a successful business. Maybe they might ask what barriers to growth you're facing and how are you going to overcome this? What is the biggest problem we have getting more customers? How are you going to tackle that? Are you operating at a profit? It's okay. A lot of businesses start off and aren't profitable, but if you're not, when do you anticipate being profitable, right? So if you can say, this investment will help me get to profitability in 6 months or less, that's a good marker that you're on the way to being a profitable business. What skills are missing from your team? We kind of talked about this. So, I'm doing this business. Joy, you might say, my next business, I need somebody who can actually be a manufacturing expert, or I need somebody who can help me do sales, or somebody that can make these connections, right? So how do you round out your team again, so that you can scale? How do you get beyond your initial so that you can grow? I mean, that would be the goal. Okay. So I'm going to stop there. Ryan, you are welcome to jump in and talk. I really wanted to go through this really quickly and then be able to answer your questions. Hopefully these are some helpful tips. Again, start with your outline, start with your intro, think about what's important, and then craft a pitch. I will also offer, and I'll put my email in chat, but if you want to script out, do a video call and practice your pitch, I am more than happy to do that for you between now and the conference. And I've done that with a lot of people. So I'm going to stop and just let you ask questions. Or Ryan, if you want to make any comments that you would add for pitching, that'd be great.
Just a couple things. Am I unmuted? I guess I am. Okay. So a couple things. One is your pitch starts in the parking lot. When you get there that day, you are pitching all day long, because I can tell you that I had conversations in the hallway with folks who eventually ended up pitching, and I already knew I wasn't going to pick them. I already knew that their passion, what they could even describe for their business. I already knew by the time they even got in the room that it wasn't going to be them, or I was pretty convinced it wasn't going to be them. So you're always pitching. If you're at this conference, you are pitching because you don't know who you're talking to. The other thing is there are going to be some intangibles, and again, I'm just going to use Bazi as the example. Gene told us as Bazi was coming into the room that we had someone drop out or didn't show up or whatever, and so Bazi wasn't originally going to be a part of this, but he was prepared and he's ready to go, so we're going to let him pitch. That perked my ears up, that somebody was prepared for the opportunity. No matter what happened, this guy was ready. I was already paying more attention because he came ready, even though he wasn't supposed to be on the list. Those are the kinds of things that I think a lot of folks don't think about. Is you don't know who you're talking to in the hallway. You don't know you don't know who's in the room, and I'm sure it would just kill some of those folks to know that they killed their pitch in the hallway when they talked to me. So anyway, you're always on, right? As a business owner, you're always pitching. You have no idea who you're talking to, and just be prepared. The second thing for us, I know I've said this, but I'm going to go back to we don't care as much about your product, so don't spend your 2 minutes talking all about your product, right? You need to briefly help us understand what your product is, but what you're talking to us about is how you could be a strategic business partner. That's going to be harder, right? Because you're used to presenting your product or your service. You need to tell us about that, but the majority is going to be helping us understand how you can be a partner. And of course, dig into Colin Garrett Racing and dig into the 1111 Veteran Project. Try to learn as much about us as you can. We are actually a business-to-business consulting company. Our product happens to be Colin Garrett Racing, right? Our product happens to be this guy who is out in front of millions of fans, but what we actually do is help businesses solve problems. That's how we're different, right? This isn't just sponsorship promoting or sponsorship pitching. This is about how can we work with you to help your business become more valuable, profitable, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish. That's different than most race car teams who are looking for sponsors. So that's something that I would suggest you all, try to script your pitch around, is how you can become a business partner. Again, I'll say one thing about Bazi. His product, black characters in graphic novels. I don't read graphic novels, and I didn't know anything about African American black characters. I mean, it didn't have anything to do. I teased him afterwards. I said, "Hey, maybe we need to put a skinny white boy in your graphic novels." And I say that because part of Bazi's pitch was he laughed about letting people know that there are actually black people in Iowa. It was part of his pitch. Well, we all chuckled at that, but already Bazi and I, before we even left the conference, were thinking about how he could pivot, how he could create an opportunity to add Colin to his graphic novel. And not only has he done that, but now we've got this potential movie coming up. And I don't know if you guys know Mandatory Fun Day. If you don't, look him up. He's got about 900,000 followers on Instagram. He's part of our team, and he's talking to Bazi about maybe somehow doing something with him. So, right, there's tons of opportunities when you think about and you pitch to us about what kind of partner you can be with your product or service. The pitch starts in the parking lot.
I'm dropping things. If you can all see the chat, if you don't know how to open the chat, Teddy, if you're new at Zoom, there's a little thing at the bottom that says chat. And if you just click on that, I included a link to the Veteran 1111 project. I also am including an article about Bazi that we keep talking about. He also created the images for this year's conference. And then my contact information is in there. So has my email. And if you want to send a script or set up another Zoom and practice your pitch, I'm happy to help you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Can everybody see that in chat?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So questions, or if you want to practice pitch, you're welcome. I don't know if you're that far along or specific questions. Try to keep this nice and short and simple, but try to be as helpful to you as we can.
I think that it is where do you get your inspiration? Where would that fit in that 2 minute, do you think, if the inspiring thing is very personal?
That's part of your story. So think about your pitch as your story. I have experienced this,
Yes.
and and one of the things that helped me in my mental health journey was this well water, and that's what inspired me to create blah 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 blah. Right? That would be a very simple way to do that.
Okay,
It,
perfect.
it
So
adds
almost
meaning.
like right, and it doesn't have to be real in depth because it's got 2 minutes. So it's just like that's where the inspiration's coming from.
Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
It's just a good, but yeah. So if you are really passionate or excited or have experienced something, that's far better than, hey, I created this app that's gonna do this thing. It's kind of okay, fine. So did 20 other people, but I created this app because it saved my son's life. It doesn't have to be dramatic like that, but if there's a reason behind what you're doing, that clicks with people, and it also makes it easier for you to sell because you have a personal relationship with what you're doing.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And if you can do this in 65 seconds, no penalty, right? Good for you. But you get up to 2 minutes. I'd rather see somebody give a minute-long pitch that's inspiring than to be trying to fit all of their script in and you're almost at 2 minutes and the buzzer goes and then you've just fizzled at the end, right? It's about your story. So, and I think about that with writing business plans too. You can find a business plan template and it tells you to put all these things in there. Well, then you're just filling in the blanks. But what it really should be is selling your story, your opportunity, why it matters to you, how you're going to get there, and why people care. And the more you can show that, I've talked to other people and they agree, or whatever that justification is. Joy, in your case, you have in 4 days, this person went from hopeless to being able to eat and brush his teeth and wash his face. That adds meaning. And
Right.
there are 4.3 million other people that need my help, right? Helpful, Teddy?
Yes, I am. I'm excited now.
Good, good. What else can I answer for you? Joy, does this sound fun or intimidating? You went from having a full 5 minutes and Q&A to I got to boil this down into less than 2 minutes.
I think both is the right answer. But I've kind of gotten used to moving on no notice with this whole thing. I got up in the morning of March 18th thinking I was crafting a student project for 6 semesters from now, and now I'm here. So
Opportunity.
I did want to ask for a little bit of feedback, actually. Was the way I had my the prototype that I demoed, as well as the one that I handed to the judges and the kit, along with an example of the terminal device, was that helpful to illustrate what I was trying to describe?
So honestly, all we needed was your product demo. All the
Okay.
other stuff we hardly looked at.
Okay.
Because you had
no, that's good. That's good feedback.
Yep,
I was
but
trying to react to feedback from round one with that. So
yeah, but Joy presented her business and she held her arm up as if she was an amputee and demonstrated what her does. It's a manual device, so it's a lot less expensive than this other one. And the whole time she
less than 1%.
presented, yep, you were doing that where you had a whole box full of stuff and it got passed out. But we didn't know until you started pitching and then we did your Q&A and you were done. So, but what you did have is a Ziploc bag, as I recall, that showed how this could be shipped to Gaza or something like that, right? So that would be all you need is put that on the table. And then when you go through the Q&A, who's going to buy this or whatever, well, this is how simple this is. I can pack this up in a box, whatever. Again, less is more.
Perfect.
That demo as a part of your pitch was really well done. That's really what won you the competition. You know, you didn't have all the business answers, but you
Nope.
sold an inspiring story, and you were able to demo it in a way that worked really well with your presentation, as opposed to having us stop and then try to figure out what you're demonstrating. So kudos to you for that.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. That's excellent feedback. I really appreciate it.
You bet.
My network has now saying that I'm unstable. The network here is unstable. Not sure what that means, but I'm excited about this competition. I really appreciate this information. Thank you.
So there's a problem to be solved, Teddy, right? So
Yeah.
how do we in Humboldt, Iowa have a more stable internet? There's an opportunity for you.
Well, I think that I'll let the next guy do that one. I'm not too sure.
Well, this is kind of short and sweet, but I'm sure nobody will complain if they get 30 extra minutes today. With a small group, lot easy to get through questions. But we'll send this slide deck to you, and then you'll have those outlines. And again, my email's in there. Happy to do a practice pitch with you anytime. So happy to do that.
All right, appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Any questions about the
And
conference?
thank you, Mr. Garrett. I think he's no longer on, but
Oh, he's here.
I'm here.
He's here.
I'm here. Thank you. Yep, absolutely.
Okay,
Happy to help.
okay. Well, and thank you for kind of clarifying like the partnership aspect of it, because I really couldn't imagine me wanting to be on some kind of a race car. But now that you've explained the partnership in it, I really am excited about this. I am a female disabled combat.
Yeah, we've had people who partnered with us and were never on the car. Having their logo on the car had nothing to do with what they were trying to accomplish. What they needed was help. There's some business need that they had that we could help with, and they could care less about being on the car. Just that was just like oh, by the way, that's cool. We get to do that too and get in front of millions of people. But that was not the focus.
Oh gosh, and Jean's probably laughing at me because I said we've got 30 minutes left. This was supposed to end at 6:30, not at 7. I was thinking we had a whole half an hour left, but we actually are right on time, so that's good. It's been a long day. Jean, any comments you want to share about the conference?
No, I think we're just going to need to talk logistics of the 2 competitions. So Garrett, maybe if you could stay on for just a little bit after this.
Yep.
But no, the emails that I sent, and I'll send the follow-up emails with the slides and just reiterate everything that was in there. It has the links for the videos, these notes, and nope, just keep looking for emails that'll have updated information as we move along. Great.
Thank you for facilitating, Jean. Jean, when Ryan gives compliments about the organization of this conference, 100% of that goes to Jean. She's the person behind all of this, and she deserves that kind of praise because it's a big event that she really does almost single-handedly. So thank you, Jean.
I've been a part of a lot of these. I know the difference.
Thanks.
Yeah, she does a fabulous job. We're very glad to have her.
It really does. Yep.
Well, Joy, nice to see you again. Teddy, great to meet you. And let us know how we can help between now and May 3rd. I got the right date?
Yes.
May 3rd.
Next Friday.
Coming up quick. Judy, wonderful to see you again. Ryan, Jean, pleasure to meet you. Teddy, please take care of yourself, and I hope to meet you in person next weekend.
I look forward to
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Be well.